And as a player, when you know, we don't know if she's been dropped, but if you don't start in a game, you have that anger in you. And I hope that she uses that to come into the game and go, hold on, wait a minute, no, like I'm a starter in this team. So yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest shock for me. But, you know, I think looking at the game, you probably could have picked out a couple that you maybe would have changed going into this game. Like we said, they were completely underwhelming. But I'm really happy 𝓣𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 is starting in the game. I felt when she came in against New Zealand, she brought a different dynamic. She brought a bit of conviction in her play. So hopefully we see that again today.
Well, actually, let's go straight to the Switzerland team now, because it'll be interesting to know how they will perform today. Now, this is a team that are ranked 20 in the world rankings. They have got talent as well, but if anyone is to create anything today, who is the player that we're going to be looking out for?
I think the natural answer is Bachmann. I think we just spoke earlier about how she loves major tournaments, and she was probably one of the best players in the first game they played against the Philippines, and I think she'll be the most creative player. And for me, 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, I obviously play with her at Arsenal, and she'll be fundamental to just keeping them solid and organised as well, and connecting the kind of back line to the front line. So yeah, they're two really key players for me.
What do you like about Bachmann?
Just her flair, her expression when she plays. She plays with this freedom. You know, she's not, you know, typically known for her defensive work rate, but I think that goes unnoticed as well. I think especially in this Swiss side, she knows she has to.
There's nothing more powerful than
as well. But yeah, I think just her style, her confidence when she's playing, the way she drives with the ball, her tricks, her flicks, you know, and she has been a star player for this Switzerland team for a long, long time. And you know, she's been there, done that, scored at multiple tournaments. So, yeah, I mean, she's definitely one that you could just watch a game of football and just go, I love to watch this player because of the way she expresses herself.
Yeah, she's the country's leading goal scorer, 133 caps. She plays for PSG as well, and she has just got so much talent.
Yeah, so much. I think Fran touched on like the experience as well. I think within the Swiss team, they have that throughout the team, and I think that says a lot when you come into these tournaments to have that experience alongside the younger players. It really helps. So yeah, I'm excited to watch her play. She's been a really consistent player for club and country for a long time. Yeah, and it's great to see her on this stage.
Okay, now on to some sad news now, because last night we received the news of the passing of Chris Bart-Williams, a player who came through the ranks at Leyton Orient but made his name at Sheffield Wednesday and Nottingham Forest. He played in the 1993 FA Cup final for the Owls under manager Trevor Francis, who also sadly passed away yesterday. Now, Francis was the first British player to be transferred for £1 million. He would go on to win the European Cup twice with Nottingham Forest and earn 52 caps for England before a career in management and broadcasting. Our thoughts go out to their friends and families at this very sad time.
Good, lovely.
Get your hands out your pockets.
And a little ball played in here for Trevor Francis. Oh, brilliant goal for England! And that's a goal. Trevor Francis got it. And in the end, it's Francis.
I'll put that there just in case it makes a balls of it.
That's a better looking cross for Francis.
You are a very talented young man.
Thank you.
Dreaming big. Xero accounting software proudly sponsors ITV's coverage of the FIFA
Norway are one of the most successful sides in women's international football, having won the World Cup, the Olympics and European Championships. Now, key to Norway's success during their golden era was 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, a trailblazer for Norwegian football, who, having been appointed as head coach, has been charged with bringing back former glories.
Hele mesterskapet i 1995 for vår del var en veldig god følelse.
Olympics winner, a European Championship winner. She's done it all on the international stage, and you both have played under her. What was she like?
Yeah, we both played under her at the Olympics in Tokyo, and it was a really short period of time to have a coach, but it was quite an interesting. She has a really interesting leadership style. She's quite quiet and introverted, and the assistant coach was more dominant, which is something I personally hadn't experienced before. So yeah, she's a very different coach to. Or her style and way she led was quite different to what I've been used to under Fran, I think, as well.
Did that surprise you when you first played for the team and were managed by her? Because you would expect with everything that she's won for her to be more vocal, but perhaps it could have been a language thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we were all a bit shocked for her to be appointed it in the first place, to be honest, not because of her credentials. Obviously, what she's achieved is amazing, but obviously the language barrier, you're taking charge of Team GB going into the Olympics. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't really know what to expect going into it, but I think what Kim said, obviously, she was a bit more of a quieter character, let the assistant handle most of the meetings, most of the tactical stuff, but, you know, she definitely knows how she wants to play, and I think it's very much how her Norwegian side played when she played in it. I think she tries to emulate that into how she's setting up her team and how she wants certain players to play. So, yeah, I mean, it was an interesting time, like Kim said, to have a different type of leadership in terms of she wasn't the one that was coming in barking orders or, you know, before the game, doing this big speech to get you rowdied up. It was a lot more calm and chilled, for sure.
Great insight there, by the way. It's really interesting to know more about managers from the players' perspective. But now, I suppose she's probably under more pressure than she's ever been, because there is that expectation on this Norway side, and they haven't picked up any points yet. So what do you think she'll be like in that dressing room? Surely a lot more vocal with her side.
Yeah, I'm unsure. I'm not sure she would necessarily. I think that's her natural tendency, so I'm not sure she will come out of herself. But I do think in the changes she's made to the team, that's maybe slightly out of character. I think I'm quite surprised by that. So even in that, it says, although it's not a vocal or external thing, she's made changes, and I think that says more.
Yeah, interesting you say that, because I was just looking at the team again. The changes that she's made, especially up front, the players either side of 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, has she made those changes to bring more out of her, do you think?
Perhaps. I think it's more about the work rate side of it. I think she knows she's under a bit more pressure in terms of having to get the win. Obviously, New Zealand losing today has taken slightly off the pressure a little bit, but not too much. So I think she knows she has to have players that are willing to just run and run until, like I said earlier, their legs can't do it anymore. And then you can bring on, you know, the Carol Hansen who can get on the ball and run at a Switzerland defence who are tired already. So I think that has something to say. But yeah, I mean, she obviously wasn't happy with what she saw in the first game and she wanted to make changes. And like Kim said, it's a little bit probably out of character for her, but she's the manager and she feels that this is the right thing to do for the team for today.
So many questions, and we'll get the answers soon, because coming up after the break, it already looks like win or bust for Norway, who have qualified for the knockouts in 7 of their last 8 World Cups. They face a tough test of their credentials today against Switzerland. The teams will be with us when we return. We'll see you in a moment. Welcome back. Not long to go until kick-off. We have a few moments to talk about another key player for this Switzerland side, Lia Wälti. She captains the side. You know her well. She plays with you at Arsenal, and you've played together for 5 years. How crucial is she for this side today?
Yeah, I think she's their most important player. Fran spoke about that. I think you speak of backmen and the star players and the flair players, but Lia is definitely. For me, their most important player, and how she connects the back line to the forward line, like I said earlier, and also breaking up play and just keeping the team organised and calm. I think that's the biggest thing with Lia is she's such a calm influence on everyone, and I think she'll be, fundamental to them getting a good result today.
Come up against her a few times in your career?
I've been chasing her around the pitch for the last 5 years, I think. Yeah, no, she's an incredible player. She's one of them ones who's so unpredictable. When she receives the ball, she can turn off both left and right foot, so you don't know which side to take her onto. So, yeah, I mean, she's pivotal for this team as well as Arsenal as well. So I think if Norway are able to stop her, I think they have a good chance.
OK, well, as you can see, the players are now walking out onto the pitch. So it is that time to hand you over to our commentary team of Lucy Ward. But first, here's Pien Moelenstein.
Thank you very much, Seema. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Waikato Stadium in Hamilton, New Zealand. It's the game Norway have been waiting for, an opportunity to rewrite their wrongs from their opening day defeat to hosts New Zealand. The former champions were held by a 0-0 and know their World Cup future is hanging by a thread, while Switzerland kick-started their World Cup campaign with a 2-0 victory over the Philippines and will look to put themselves in the driving seat in Group A with a victory today. But first, it's time for the national anthems of Switzerland and Norway. Next.
Absolutely is. She obviously wasn't pleased with that first game. It was a tricky game against the hosts, but she's taken Graham Hansen out of the team and probably the best wide player in the world at the moment.
Well, away we go then. Norway desperate to pick up the points and blow Group A wide open, while Switzerland, Lucy Ward, will be hoping to continue the momentum that they built against the Philippines.
Yeah, I look at Switzerland in the first game and it wasn't straightforward. It took a while to get going, but they did okay. And I think it proves with the result versus New Zealand this morning that actually that was probably a really good result for Switzerland. But Norway struggled again. They struggled to create. I think New Zealand did really well against them in terms of defensively stopping Engen from playing. Engen's now not in the team. Such an interesting game, this.
Well, these are the two nations, really, Switzerland and Norway, that were the favourites to get out of the group, but an opportunity for Norway. If they pick up the points, every nation in Group A will be level on 3 points, and it will be going all the way to that final group match. Well, it looks like Sophie Romain-Haug has replaced Ada Hegerberg in that Norway starting 11, so we will have to find out what happened with Ada Hegerberg. Of course, we saw her going off right before kickoff.
It's a massive loss, isn't it, for Norway? It's already been a disrupted build-up. Changes that always concern a team, a group of players.
The corner kick comes in and quickly dealt with by Switzerland. There are reports perhaps of Ada Hegerberg feeling unwell just ahead of kickoff. But that's a big blow to the Norwegian side. Recent. It's up here by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Tries to weave her way through, but Norway able to win the possession back. 𝓬𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 clearing the danger away, out to safety. What does that do to you as a player, Lucy, when you are sort of being called in very quickly? You've only got a couple of seconds, really, to get yourself prepared for a game that you didn't think you were starting.
Yeah, and that is one of the reasons why you've got to warm up properly, even as a substitute. But I think losing Hegerberg is just so disruptive because she's such a leader. She's obviously their main threat in terms of in front of goal. So for these Norwegian players, they just need to make sure they really focus on the task at hand. It's already been not a good start to this World Cup, but this is such an important game to get the win.
Recent finds Ramona Bachmann, who was able to convert her penalty against the Philippines on match day 1. Borvi.
And the way that Switzerland do like to play is progressing through 𝓬𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and I think what the Philippines did in the first game is just got players around 𝓬𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 so she couldn't receive it. Now the girls talked before the game about the way that she gets on the ball, gets herself into space, but she wasn't allowed to do that, and I think that's the way that you get on top of that Switzerland team. They had to obviously find other ways to goal, but she's such a key player for them.
Recent Over to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Taken away there by Pubel. And Switzerland looking for the space. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. To 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. This is Ries again. Chance opening up for Switzerland, and it was dealt with by Norway. Out to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 finds the feed of Ries. Just trying to get away from this Norway block at the moment. They're not finding a way through, but patient build-up from Switzerland. This is Ramona Bachmann. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Ibergun. Well, Moritz, who's operating as a centre-back. There is the Switzerland head coach, Inka Grings. Where do you want to see the improvements from Norway following their first game?
Well, they need to start creating chances. That's certainly something they didn't do, but that was all to do with their build-up from deep areas.
Put up here by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 and tries to take it from distance, blocked on the way through. Lia Velti will keep the chance alive. Ibergun. Pubel. Lia Velti for Switzerland.
Already the opening minutes, Velti's got on the ball a lot more, finding herself a lot of space.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 with the ball over. Pubel finds it. It's a good touch as well. Pubel over to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓷𝓲𝓬 is in there, as was Ramona Bachmann. Well defended in the end by Norway. Chance still alive. Ibergun. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 head is there and just splashed across the face of goal. And that poor ball really from Lia Velti just allowed Norway to find their composure again, but what an opportunity for an opening for Switzerland.
Yeah, they worked it really well down the right-hand side. At times Norway were desperate defending. It's a clever little ball that is from Pubel into So. And it's just about getting a good ball into the middle, or whether she goes for goal in between 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. But you would expect Bachmann to try and get something on it. It's a terrific block in the end by Bielda.
Well, Ramona Bachmann scored her 4th World Cup in 5 World Cup appearances with that penalty kick against the Philippines on match day 1. She'll be hoping to continue that goal-scoring form. Ibergun. Well, it certainly has been a more positive start from Switzerland than it was for Norway.
Well, we're used to seeing Switzerland quite a slow, measured build-up, and Norway struggled at times defensively. About attacking those right areas, making sure that they get the runs from So. People inside, perhaps, and those sort of combinations in the wide areas.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to Ibergun to release the pass into space. Pubel has it. Bachmann is becoming the option. Bachmann across. Wasn't quite the right ball. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 was waiting in that danger area. Moritz. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 finds Pubel, back to Bachmann. Velti. At the moment, Norway defending. Haven't had an opportunity to try and get it out.
just thinking that Switzerland just sense a little bit of disarray. Maybe that's a strong word in this Norway team. It just seems to be square pegs in round holes. They seem right in playing as an 8 when we've seen her wide for a club side, and she's a fantastic creator. Caroline Graham-Hansen, who may be ill, but she's on the bench, another fantastic creator from wide. There's just something about it that just doesn't seem right.
Well, just hearing as well more reports about why Ada Hegerberg had to pull out of the game today. She apparently had hurt herself in the very last warm-up before the game had started. Very last sprint it was.
Such a blow for her and Norway. But they've got to get on with it. They have to raise themselves. They have the players on the pitch that can produce a result here against Switzerland. Switzerland have started well.
They are still rich with quality. Norway, experienced players in that squad. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to take this corner. Headed away quickly there by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. That would have been one of the big shocks of the tournament, that very opening day defeat that Norway had suffered because of the players that they have in their squad and at their disposal.
I think that is full stop. You look at player for player in the Norway squad, and some of the best players in the world at club level, but just can't do it together at international level. Now, that there has to be a reason for that, because these are fantastic players who produce week in, week out for the clubs.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 trying to take it away there from Mjelde. Bachmann stopped in her tracks.
Oh, we need a little bit of that. Mjelde just trying to be effective from that centre-back position. Trying to lead by example.
Hege Riise, appointed the manager of Norway last year.
It's funny, the girls were talking about her being really quiet as a leader, but then has made absolutely massive decisions for this game, and by stealth perhaps.
And cutting it back, but an opportunity for Norway perhaps to take control. Morning.
Timonen for Arsenal is a powerhouse in that central midfield area. She's obviously defensively very good, but also can break forward, dribble forward, and strong as an ox. You can see that in the battles that she had, those individual duels.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 looking to release Pubel. Now Kumbaso finds Eidbergun. Pubel again. Stopped though by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Now an opportunity for Norway to come forward. Through a right end spotted Emilia Harvey. Harvey, of course, looking for that direct header. And Hogue.
It's better from Norway, just breaking into the right areas on this left-hand side. Harvey, but really only Hogue in the box. Very, very difficult to score a header from here.
There are several teammates going up against each other in this game. Of course, Joelle Moritz, Lia Velti going up against their fellow Arsenal teammate Frida Maanum. Does always play such an important role in that Norway midfield. Eidbergun as well, of course, facing her Roma teammates Harvey and Roman Hogue. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 probably thought she was coming up against her Barcelona teammates of Graham Hansen and Ingrid Engen. Ďurica trying her best to try and get away there from Thea Bjelda. Well defended though in the end by the Norwegian defender. Terrific defending. Ďurica's done it a few times, get herself forward, and the sort of base for 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 just allow the fullbacks for Switzerland to get forward. That solid defending there, Bjelda. Through to 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼, gives the ball away to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Now an opportunity for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to charge forward. She's got options arriving. Pupil was there, but it wasn't quite the right pass, and just gave Norway time to defend. Hovey.
Yeah, they're not particularly known to be quick and incisive on regains, Switzerland, but the chance there was pretty obvious. It's just got to be a little bit less loose in possession. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 in that 9 position, and really as a target, she could play anywhere.
Bjelda finds 𝓳𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼. Tuva Hansen, left foot, Emilia Hovey, just wins it out of play.
When you look around this Norway team and see the best players, who do you want to get on the ball? So you want to get the likes of Reiten on the ball, Marnum on the ball. But they tend to be in those central areas, and space against the Swiss team would probably be out wide and attacking the space that the fullbacks leave.
Bjelda. To get away from Bachmann, who just about got a touch in there. Pupil. Pull the ball forward, looking for 𝓬𝓐. Didn't quite get around. Bjelda wanted to make sure that Switzerland's chance was cut short.
Into her rhythm, whether it's with the ball or without it. First to pounce on Reiten, just to stop a team from being hit on the break.
Will chase this down. Looking for the perfect cross in, but there was no Norwegian players waiting for it. Back out it goes, and Hovey will take a strike from distance. It was blocked on the way through anyway.
Yeah, finally finding the feet in this game, Norway. A couple of bursts forward, but again, the ball into the box is just 1 or 2 Norwegian players in there. They have to commit players forward. It's very easy for the Swiss at the moment to just get back hold of the ball, win possession.
Sterling. Arviken. It's to Bjelda. Norway, one of the most successful nations in women's football history. World Cup champions, European champions, Olympic champions.
To be honest, it was so disruptive, I think, losing Hegerberg. It's taken them a while to get themselves into this game in terms of just establishing a little bit of balance, a little bit of composure. So we're just getting a foothold now.
𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 couldn't hold on. Pupil able to win the ball back for Switzerland. And now looking to release Ramona Bachmann. Well defended in the end, though, by Bjelda. Right place, right time to stop that chance.
That was a great ball. Just had one chance there, 𝓲𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to intercept.
Älvviken. There's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Spotted the cross through and almost a great header there from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to put in on a plate for Maman Hogue.
That's where you want Marnham. You want her in those positions, just behind Hogue, making the runs beyond as well when she can. The problem Norway had in that first game, the centre-backs are quite close together when they're just distributing the ball and trying to start the build-up. What New Zealand did was close that down, close the passing lanes. Switzerland, not so much. They're not really pressing that high. So Norway getting away with it.
Here comes Marnham. Eikeland, one of the 3 changes for Norway, which actually ended up being 4 changes in the end to their starting 11. After Agda Hegerbergs had to pull out very late change. Good delivery. Marnham almost got on the end of it, and so did 𝓲𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Chance. The first header was excellent, brilliant delivery as always, but well watched in terms of defending. And just had a second. She's not known for centre forward play. Probably reaching for a little bit.
𝓲𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 recently signed a contract extension with Chelsea until next year. Horvey. Nice and forward, looking for Maman Hogue. It's up here by 𝓲𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Norway just get themselves back into a 4-5-1 to try and defend in settled play. Just trying to reduce the gaps for Switzerland to get themselves through, and it pretty good block, but it's then about what they do when they win the ball back. Marnham's getting herself into this game, and for them to win this, Norway, she has to be effective. Getting back to 𝓲𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Älvviken. 𝓲𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓲 forward, looking for another opening for Norway. Marnham. Maman Hogue with the header, punched away. Best opportunity Norway have had.
Oh, she's so strong in the air, Hogue. And a couple of times now, probably 3 crosses in a row, and she's got something on it, and that's a terrific save. And there's your plan there, Norway. Get the ball into the box and let her attack it.
Sophie Maman Hogue, part of the Roma team that won the league title.
I don't think she always plays central as well. I think she plays sometimes from a wide position for Roma as well. She's started this game well.
𝓲𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓲𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓲 spotted the wide run again.
Starting to control the narrative now in the game. Norway getting themselves closer. Attempts on goal on target.
see just how close that was, the reaction of 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Gareth Tallman, though, with strong hands to send it away. Perhaps, though, the moment that Norway were waiting for, just to show that glimmer of hope, as you mentioned, Lucy, to get the control back in the game a little bit, because Switzerland certainly started the better.
Yeah, I do think that's because I just think they just felt disorganised. I think they were rocked by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 having to be substituted before the game even started. I think that affects you as a team. She's a massive player, a leader, and obviously a goal scorer, a really effective player. But I think they've got themselves, credit to these players, they've got themselves going again.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Didn't get past 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Rainy, windy day in Hamilton.
Summer World Cups, eh?
Like a proper British summer, isn't it?
I think she'll be pretty happy with how her team have settled now into this game. It's a little bit of a wobbly opening. It is such a key game for them to get themselves back on track. Norway hope that 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's injury is not too bad, because they don't really have that many alternatives other than Haug to play there in the squad.
Horvey. And through to find Wrighton. Mjelde back to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
So the difference between Norway against New Zealand is Switzerland are letting them have it, sitting back in sort of a mid-block, not really jumping out of that shape to press. So it just gives Norway a chance to pass the ball about and try and find those spaces.
Mjelde needs that perfect delivery to try and find those Norway players waiting to pounce. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓲𝓲𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬
just take that extra pass, just be comfortable in possession. But there will be times when Norway are out of shape and the gaps are there. Particularly when you've got 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 and you've got Bachmann ready to counter quickly.
Brighton was touched off though there by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. To charge forward is 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Had the best opportunity for Norway in the first half. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 again. Norway looking more and more comfortable in the game.
Really settled now, and their obvious route is hitting the ball wide, delivering to the box, and then just committing players forward. Hog, the obvious target.
Well, Group A is the only group at the tournament not to contain a member of the current top 10 in the FIFA rankings. Norway 12th in the rankings. They're the highest ranked side in this section. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 plays it through. Another opportunity for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Didn't quite get enough to test the keeper though, couldn't find the target.
It's a ball that was. That run in the inside channel is so difficult to defend against, just trying to get herself in between centre-back and full-back, and then just digs out that cross. sort of lacking in speed at the end, and Harvey couldn't really couldn't make the best of it, but they're the sort of balls into the box that you need.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Out to Pubel. Serena Pubel, who secured the 3 points for Switzerland in their 2-0 victory over the Philippines. Recent. Bachmann. Half an hour play, neither team able to find the deadlock, break the deadlock.
Switzerland had the lion's share of possession in the opening minutes, and gradually Norway have just wrestled that back, the initiative, but so we were lacking in massive chances.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 plays it through to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and everyone in their stadium held their breath expecting her to score.
And this girl has got few weaknesses in a game. She's not really been fed properly. That's the first time. So 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 has got herself in front of goal. A little bit wild. Well, not what you'd expect from her, but good first touch. It did nearly get into that top corner. What a goal that would have been, but that's the threat. Can they get the ball through to her?
Those are the moments, though, that Switzerland will be hoping to create more of. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Bachmann.
You just sort of need Switzerland to be a little bit more dynamic. Once they work the ball well up into these positions, they have done a few times, but they need to be more dynamic in the final third. It's easy when they do get in these positions for Norway, because everything's in front.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Velti finds 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Now Reeson. Looking over, and well, Mikkelsen had to make sure she was aware.
Tell you what, that was all from Velti. And she's a player that you would describe as press resistant. Right, so she receives the ball and turns away and makes that pass through that leads to that chance. And we're arguing that she got a touch on it. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 indicating to the referee, but in terms of increasing the tempo in the final third, that was all about Velti.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to take this first corner for Switzerland. Now pushing the box, spotted by the referee, Stephanie Frappart. The most experienced referee at the World Cup.
Definitely don't want to lose any more players. I think it was a push on Miel that just forced her into a teammate initially.
She seems to be okay. And hope to continue. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Shilly couldn't get hold of it. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's back to 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and this is 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓪. Harvikin again. And put under pressure there by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Tuva Hansen.
Just watching Guro right and having watch her week in, week out in the WSL play wide for Chelsea. She just gets a little bit lost in those central positions. She can't find space to receive it, and it's such a shame because she's such an effective player. Obviously, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 sees something that I don't. That's why she's sat there.
There's Guro Reiten. Let's have a pass to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓷𝓰. Bachmann. Now to Ibergun. Both sides desperately on the hunt for an opening goal before the break. Has been a tight affair, which we were expecting between these two nations. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 able to weave away past those Norwegian midfielders.
He's just reached for it, so caught hold of it.
There are a couple of players on the pitch that have to be careful because they're already on a yellow card. Ramona Bachmann, Noelle Moritz, Emilia Harvey for Norway, one of them. If they get another, it will result in a one-match ban, especially if the things are going the way that they are. This Group A, that final group match will be so important.
Actually, a really exciting end to this group, I'm sure. Just surprising results. An opportunity for all.
Just the one attempt on target for Norway.
Of sharpness, well, entries into that final third. Probably both teams, Norway look a little bit more threatening with the aerial crosses to Haug, who, if you can get her in front of goal, I'm sure she will score.
Ibergun. Forced to rethink her options, and well blocked in the end by Roman Haug. Moritz couldn't get it past. Bachmann. It's Kumbaso, and Bachmann finding the way out. This is good play from Switzerland. Guro Reiten doing her best to try and hold on to the possession. He's taken down there by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. She just had to stop the momentum that Norway were building.
Kept the shape really well. Switzerland, it just opened up slightly there, just for Reiten to get herself through.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 with a delivery. Headed straight out though by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Now 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲, back to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲, searching for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Brighton heads on and looks to be picked up there by Marnum.
See, I look at the midfield for Norway, and you've got Marnum has the ability to go up and beyond, runs in behind, and not really making those sort of passes. Norway, it's very, very crowded in those central areas. So they have to make those runs to try and stretch Switzerland, who are sitting quite deep and off Norway.
Brighton, Bachmann. This is 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. Brighton looking to win the ball back, but the challenge in on 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓲 in the end.
Frustration. Conditions a bit difficult for these players, to say the least.
A little bit too much patience there by Switzerland, and Norway looked to capitalise. Well won back though, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. That's a 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
This time out of possession. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. That was important as well, because Norway have a few players trying to get themselves forward quickly.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓷 out across to the Swiss captain, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. This is Noel Moritz. That's over the top looking for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. Pupil will play it down to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷. And the flag is up anyway.
In terms of the build-up, a little bit better from Switzerland, getting the ball into 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 and then getting a little bit closer to it to support, which Pupil did.
To 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 and across to Mjelde. Iceland testing her innocence there for that challenge.
It's a little bit wild until the ball ran through. Quite a positive fashion for Norway, but the referee was close enough.
Penalty to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. It's Pupil. And Ramona Bachmann has space to run into. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷 is making her way through too. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷. Out to Moritz.
Again, they get on the counter, but Norway got themselves back quickly. Good recovery from Mjelde, but just needs an incisive pass a little bit earlier. Runs forward. There are spaces there.
Bachmann. Just the minute added on. Not too many stoppages in this first half. Bachmann. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Switzerland looking to hurt Norway right before the break. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 charging forward for Switzerland, and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 will try and take the strike on. It was stopped in the end by 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Well, it was Marnham who was caught. Well, that will be that then for the first 45. It was a tight affair, which we expected between the two nations. There were chances at both ends. Norway perhaps with the better of the chances. Sophie Roman-Haug with a great opportunity to try and break the deadlock, but neither side have been able to do it so far. Plenty more action to come in the second half. The half-time score, Switzerland 0, Norway 0.
see she walked off just before kickoff. We believe she picked up a groin strain just before the game started. So her replacement, 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, she had to step in, and she had the only shot on target for her side, Norway. But that's a huge blow for Norway and not something we were expecting.
Not at all. I think it's obviously really fine margins physically when you're preparing for tournaments, and I think Hegerberg's had trouble with injury over the last year or so, or longer than that. And I think when you're preparing your body and you're pushing it to the maximum like they did in that first game, she's obviously picked up a slight injury, I think, to her groin, which is not unusual, to be honest.
Wholesale change now to that front three, something that nobody, I think, was expecting. Big blow for the side, big boost for Switzerland. But how has it impacted the way that Norway have played?
Yeah, I mean, they started a little bit shaky in the first kind of 5 minutes. I think Switzerland had an early chance, but after that, they settled down a bit. They looked a lot more comfortable on the ball than they did in the previous game. And obviously here, Switzerland are quite deep, so finding these little pockets are really, really important. And obviously a little dink over the top there, nice set. And this is probably the first time where you've seen Norway, especially from New Zealand, get this many players into the box, which obviously ultimately ends up with a chance. I think she maybe could make the goalkeeper work a little bit harder with the chance. But yeah, I mean, look, you've got 4 bodies in the box for Norway, and you didn't see that at all in the New Zealand game. And even in this game, they've struggled a little bit. Same kind of thing here. Switzerland are deep, but they still manage to find that little pocket player. So it's really vital that they keep getting these positions. But difference to this one compared to the other one is the number of players that they have in the box. Obviously, 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 does really well here, but you've only got 2. Marnham joins a little bit late. So, you know, it's really important that they still keep building and getting them players in the right areas, because when you get in these spaces here, there's not many chances you're going to create. So when you get them, you have to have as many people around to maximise that potential.
It's really interesting, Fran, because we were talking about the starting 11 and how there were key players missing, and then add to that Ada Hegerberg, but actually they look like they're more of a unit?
Yeah, I mean, you know, these players that are coming into the game, they've been waiting for this chance. You know, as a player going out and you're training, obviously, I've been in that position. Kim, probably not. She always plays because she's fantastic. But I mean, you know, you're just waiting for that opportunity to have that chance to come in, and it's kind of like you're trying to prove a point. I should be starting ahead of this person, or, you know, I'm ready to give my all. And you're seeing some of the tackles that they're putting in, the work rate, you know, they just seem a bit more lifted than the game against New Zealand. They look a bit more gritty, a bit more wanting that fight about them. And yeah, that could be due with the changes, but also there's a lot on the line.
Yeah, and I guess when you get an opportunity, you have to make it count. But Kim, do talk us through Switzerland and how and why they're getting so much joy on that right-hand side.
Yeah, their chances have been few and far between, but I think they've definitely tried to kind of go on the right-hand side and pull out their Norway's left-sided centre-back, and they see that as a weakness. I think against New Zealand you could see that in a bit more of an expansive way. They were New Zealand with Wilkinson, they got in behind quite often, and I think again you see her being dragged out here to 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and she gets a really good chance on goal. And I think they've definitely pinpointed that as a weakness of Norway and had some really good chances. So I think going into the second half, I think they'll definitely look to get in that area again, maybe get back in a bit more there to get into that area. But it's definitely a weakness for Norway.
So far, so good for Switzerland?
Yeah, I mean, you can see that they're dropping very deep. They're very content with maybe getting the draw and trying to nick one on the counter-attack, but they're really tidy in their play when they do win it and they get it in them tight areas of Norway. The way they're passing, that little pass there that you saw, you know, that little round the corner pass, it's really influential. So yeah, they look really tidy, but I think they'll be happy with a draw. And I think second half you'll probably see Karl Hansen coming in and bringing a little bit more of a different dynamic when Norway are chasing a goal a bit more. But I think right now they'll be happy.
Yes, because let's not forget, Norway are the only team in this group without a point so far. Now, throughout the World Cup, we'll be running a competition where the more goals scored, the more money you could win.
Time now for your chance at home to win an amazing £30,000 and an extra goal-busting bonus.
Xero accounting software proudly sponsors ITV's coverage of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023.
In a new 6-part series, ITV's Karen Carney shines a light on female footballers' achievements on and off the pitch. It starts with England midfielder Katie Zelem tonight from 6:55 on ITV4 and ITVX. Really looking forward to that one. Right, let's talk about Norway for a moment, because I'd love you both to take us into the mindset of those players. They have 45 minutes to dictate which way their World Cup goes. How are they feeling right now?
Yeah, I think there will be elements of nerves. I think it is, it's a bit tentative, definitely, for players. I think they don't know where they kind of sit. I think the group's so tight, so I think there will be elements of nerves, but I think there's definitely positivity after that first half performance, and I think they have to take that into the second half, and they'll be feeling pleased with that. And I think it's just getting more chances and creating more opportunities like they did in the first half, and being a bit calmer as well.
How soon does Carol Graham-Hansen come on?
Pretty soon, I think. I think she's a player that can come into this game and really set it alight, and like I said, have that feeling inside of her wanting to prove a point. And for me, you have to make a change within the next 10 minutes, to be honest, if you want to get the maximum out of her. So yeah, I think we'll see her really soon.
Okay, well, let's see when we see her. It's back to your commentators. It's back to Lucy and me.
Thank you very much, Seema. Welcome back. Almost ready to get underway in the second half, and what a big second half we've got coming up. Both teams desperate to try and break the deadlock. It was a tight affair in the first half. Lucy Ward, what are you expecting to see in the second half?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit edgy, the game, and I think it's because of the nerves that that particularly comes from Norway, because they're desperate to get the points in this. But I think that they will be happy with their performance. I think Switzerland will be happier that it was 0-0. Larissa will know that her team had the opportunities to get themselves in front. So interesting to watch the second half.
Some big names missing though in that Norway side. How much will they be missing them? Back in the way. And a big 45 minutes coming up, as Seema mentioned in the studio. It could be a 45 minutes that dictates the way that the Norway World Cup journey starts, and already they're coming out firing in the second half.
And that's the ball. They've proved it a number of times. Eikeland this time on the right-hand side. If you could just stand the ball up for Haug in the middle, then she'll get a head on it. And I think that could be the route to 3 points for Norway. They have to get it right.
Still the rain pouring down. Palman with the big kick forward. Norway looking to unsettle the Swiss. Mjelde. Viken. Over to Hansen. Looking for Horvey. Letting with the ball in. Roman Haug was there. Picked up here by Marnan.
And just see how much the game opens up when you get those forward runs. That run, getting in behind the Swiss defence makes a difference. Again, it's a ball in that well reacted to, but Monum just couldn't get a foot around it. Really dependable in front of goal, and getting a half chance for Norway.
Sturley with a kick away. There is Ada Hegerberg. Not involved today. She was that very, very last-minute change after hurting herself in the final warm-up before the game got underway.
It was a groin injury. We hope that it's not too serious.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Moritz. Bachmann looking to win the ball back. Referee lets play go on. Monen. Now Mjelde. Hansen over towards 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Charging at that Swiss defence. Important touch in there by 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to take it away from 𝓳𝓲𝓲.
She's been effective when she's got the ball, 𝓳𝓲𝓲, in that left position, whether it's a run inside or she keeps the width. The left foot delivers some good crosses.
So another corner for Switzerland to defend. Chance perhaps for Norway. Delivery, and it's a decent one as well, and it's a good header from Mjelde. Bounced into the hands though of Tarman.
In terms of the execution, heading it down is exactly what you need to do there. She gets herself in a good position. Just couldn't get the direction, got the speed.
Switzerland did get themselves all the way through to the round of 16 in Canada back in 2015. This is their second World Cup appearance. Neat play from Norway and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, but 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 stood in the way and was so forward. They look slightly unsettled, Switzerland.
Well, they're doing well down that left-hand side, Norway. Reiten running beyond, which is where you want her. You want the likes of Reiten and Monen just breaking that line of pressure from Switzerland. So definitely the momentum is with Norway, but no real clear-cut chances on the header from Mjelde.
You've got a player like 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who is their most capped player, their highest goal scorer. How do you get her involved in a game like this more?
Well, that's the thing. You want your most effective players in an area where they're going to be effective, and at the moment that's not happening for Switzerland. Norway have just pushed the bodies a little bit further up the pitch in this second half, and it's just stopping Switzerland from getting that ball out. It's up to the rest of your team. She's got to find the space as well.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Reiten. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 did get crowned the Serie A player of the season. The season just gone when they won Serie A. They were also Coppa Italia runners-up as well, Roma. They had a decent season. First time actually taking the title away from Juventus.
Much better at working those little triangles down the left-hand side. The switch is on if they need to come out. If they missed a bit of an obstruction there, I think, and give and go. Watching that.
Do you, as a player, when you know that the other fixture in your group is happening before you, do you keep an eye on that scoreline? Because obviously, not that the pressure's off Norway, but it has eased slightly that nothing can be decided in this group today.
Yeah, they will definitely have known exactly what was happening in the other game in the lead up to this one, because it obviously probably affects the build-up, like you say, less pressure, but they still need to win. I think, you know, regardless, obviously it's not quite as cut and dry if Switzerland do win now, but you know, Norway just getting that first 3 points of the World Cup, because otherwise it's just such again a disappointing tournament when you've got a list of players and how good they are and how well they perform for the clubs, and it's just not quite happening at international level. But there's time yet in this game.
Velti. Just missed out an opportunity now for Marnum to try and break through. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 stood strong though and stopped that attack.
Cheap concession of possession, ball past to Velti, and all of a sudden Norway had another chance, but Marnum not quite firing, not quite getting her in the right positions.
There's 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼. Picked up by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Trying to force her way through, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 this time. Chance opening up once again. Roman Høeg, another brilliant save from 𝓳𝓸𝓲. Marnum will hope to keep the chance alive. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Talked about 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 in the first half, and in terms of how creative she's been at club level. Get her in good positions. It's a lovely little ball. Just put Switzerland under pressure. You can get something on it. It's actually a really good strike. Goalkeeper saw that really late. Terrific save. She looks like she's struggling now, 𝓳𝓸𝓲, but great build-up. Lovely cross from Reiten. And again, Norway threatened.
Another chance missing for Norway. Gael Thalmann, 37 years old. She did announce in July that she will be retiring from football after the World Cup. She's Switzerland's most capped goalkeeper. And this has just allowed the players to have a drink, have a bit of a break and find their composure again, because at the moment, Norway look like the most likely team to score.
Yeah, it just gives, when a goalkeeper goes down, it gives a manager a little bit of a timeout, a little cheap timeout, to get some information on. I think Switzerland defending quite deep, they're not allowing any space behind for Norway, but Norway's starting to find it, getting a little bit closer to getting that opening goal. Switzerland will probably be happy with a point, I would suspect.
Well, she seems okay, Gael Thalmann. And here is the change. Caroline Graham-Hansen then has replaced Emilie Eikeland. She was a big name missing from that starting 11. And perhaps a player that Switzerland didn't want to see coming on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if she was ill. She certainly looks angry coming on, so hoping to prove a point, I'm sure.
Here is Marnum. Looking to get past Riessen and straight into the hands of 𝓳𝓸𝓲 there. It's actually Caroline Graham-Hansen's 100th Norway appearance. So a milestone in her career.
Probably one of the best players in the world, particularly 1v1. Had a fantastic season. She could be the spark for Norway this afternoon.
Graham-Hansen as well, part of that Barcelona team that won the league and won the Champions League as well. Summer of celebrations. She'll be hoping to keep that celebrations going throughout the summer with Norway if they can try and progress through to the knockouts. Here's Bachmann. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Bachmann again, looking for the space, weaving through, and cleared away by 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
You can always rely on Bachmann to come alive around the edge of the area. It's just been few and far between in terms of the opportunities for Switzerland, particularly in the second half. She's always alive, ready for those 1-2s. Good defended in the end.
Julie with the corner delivery, and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 was trying to tower over above everyone. Graham Hansen to 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Switzerland at the moment doing well to keep the pressure on Norway. Listen. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓷𝓰 wants to keep going, but it's taken away by Graham Hansen. Here's Monham. Overlapping run, and 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 couldn't quite keep it in play. Referee 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓴𝓼 just having a word there with the Swiss manager, Inka Grins.
She's not happy. She thinks that original was a foul.
Cuban.
Last couple of minutes, just momentum just shifted slightly in Switzerland's favour. Actually, since Graham Hansen came on, that breaking play prior to that, after Thalmann's save, I think that's just given Switzerland a new lease of life. It does help those little breaks in play where you can get some information on.
Rinderisen again, over to 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Bachmann. Finds Eidlungen, but Huber leaves it. Still struggling to really create those clear-cut chances, Switzerland. 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Doing it for Graham Hansen, looking to weave a way through. Graham Hansen with the effort, palmed away by Thalmann.
To ball that was just killed, just not within reach of defenders. The goalkeeper had to make a big decision. Graham Hansen in that inside channel for a little bit of space. Sometimes she creates that herself. A lot of the time, the ball into the right behind the defenders, just ready to curl. Goalkeeper had to come out, but it could have gone anywhere. Goalkeeper again from Thalmann.
Here is Serena Pubel. Got away from 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷. Now 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, Reeson wants it on the left. Bachmann trying to force her way through. If you're Switzerland, you look at this fixture, Lucy, are you happy to take a draw?
Yeah, I think that's... They definitely don't want to lose it, so they're on the side of caution, I think, but the last part of the game, they've just committed players forward a little bit more, seeing whether they can push Norway back.
𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 through to Bachmann, charging forward now for Switzerland. This is Ramona Bachmann! Didn't quite get the energy or the pace behind it she would have wanted.
Strong run, walking away from it, then decide to engage. 𝓳𝓗 just opened up the space, but just did enough in the end to just put Bachmann off the shot.
Well, she's the only player, Ramona Bachmann, to score in more than one World Cup match for Switzerland. 4 goals in her 5 World Cup appearances when she scored that penalty against the Philippines.
So important. I mean, it's quite a smaller pool of players to pick from, so the likes of Bachmann, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, that really the heart and soul of this team. You need them to perform.
Mielda was through looking for Caroline Graham-Hansen again, but Bachmann was still in the way.
Mann just needs to be careful that she doesn't get in Graham-Hansen's space on that right-hand side.
Hansen again, firing it across, looking for Roman Hogue. Heideggen away. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Norway now hoping to put the pressure on Switzerland. Graham-Hansen. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to Graham-Hansen. More options arriving in the box. Here comes 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, looking to get away from Roman Hogue. The pace has beaten Roman Hogue as well. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 keeps going, fires it across, and it just allowed the time. Only as far as Heideggen though. And it's Frida Marnim who picks up the pieces at the back for Norway.
Just opening up a little bit now. Graham-Hansen gets it. I think Switzerland are a little bit wary, which opens up spaces elsewhere, end to end.
Wasn't quite the right pass, looking for Guro-Reiten. Sturley to it quickly. Still Norway, they're dominating the opportunities on goal. 3 of them on target, 9 in total. Still no shots on target from Switzerland. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 firing it through to Serena Kubel. Just forced to rethink her options. This is 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Liavelti. Reeson forward looking for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, but it falls into the hands there of Mikkelsen. sense, Lucy, that if there is ever a time to turn it up a notch, now is the time.
Absolutely. I think either team, or both teams, really can't lose it, particularly Norway. I said before, I think Switzerland more comfortable with the draw. The draw would be all right for Norway, but Norway are Norway. They need to be winning groups like this. You know, they need to be starting to win these games.
Horvey. It's gone through to Outen, and now a chance for 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to charge forward. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 involved.
To be a good challenge. I think the referee's given a free kick on the edge. And it's a sliding challenge. Did she get the ball? Yes, she did. I don't think that anybody appealed for it from a Norway point of view. I don't know what it looked like from the referee's angle, but that's a really, really well-timed challenge.
Corner for Norway. Good delivery. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 with the header away. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 tried to keep the chance alive, but it's Sterling who can take it away for Switzerland.
Another good delivery into the box. In the corner.
Norway looking to make a couple of changes themselves. Sterling. Oitler forced across, looking for Moretz. Now 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. This is better from Switzerland. Cuba being put under pressure. Well, a reminder that we've got plenty more coming up on ITV as well. Japan against Costa Rica, that's tomorrow, 10 to 6 in the morning. ITV1 and STV. And a reminder as well, Canada against the Republic of Ireland, that's tomorrow from 12:30 in the afternoon, ITV1 and STV. And of course, reminder that you can watch every game, the highlights of every game, on ITVX. Busso. Alti. Over and across to 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼𝓰. Didn't get away from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, but it's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷 who collects it again for Switzerland. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰 doing well to defend. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷 from distance. A good effort from Switzerland.
The original ball from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 was good, well kept in by Reece. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 has played well. That right-hand side of Norway's defence has worked really well together. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 and 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼, good goalkeeping, just not quite enough on the shot.
𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷, another important midfield player for Switzerland, really in the heart of the engine. Plays a football in Germany, Eintracht Frankfurt. They finished third in the Bundesliga this season. A couple more changes then for Norway. Tuva Hansen and Sophie Romanhøg, the two to come off. Anja Sonstervold and Karina Sævik. First appearance for Karina Sævik as well in this World Cup. 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and now 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 will try and travel with it for Switzerland. Aydoğan. Bachmann. Touch took it away. It's all been half chances, with anything real clear cut for either team, really. Some good goalkeeping along the way as well. This is Norway's 9th World Cup. They're one of the 7 sides to feature at every tournament. Will of course remember fondly Norway when they were champions of the world in 1995. It was actually a goal from the current head coach 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He was able to seal the victory against Germany. This is Caroline Graham Hansen weaving her way through. Graham Hansen! Great effort, chance of the life. Marnham! Brilliant save from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to keep Switzerland in it. And Thalmann is the reason. Switzerland have still got a clean sheet, raising the intensity. Graham Hansen on this right-hand side. Can't get past Thalmann though. They're knocking on the door now, Norway. Hitting with the delivery. Terrific shot from the edge. Graham Hansen just had the power, but also trying to sneak in that bottom corner. Thalmann equal to it, and then Marnham was the first to react. Well, you can already see the impact that Caroline Graham Hansen has had since she's come on to that Norway side after being left out of the starting 11. She still looks like she hasn't got out of second gear yet either, Graham Hansen. Football just seems to come very easy. Sandrine Moron. Readied for Switzerland. Horby. Lifted into a dangerous area. He'll be out for a corner. I don't think the nerves will ever settle if you're a manager watching a game like this, especially. Absolutely not. Maybe changes. One of them being a positive one on the right-hand side. And again, Thalmann to punch it away. Marnham tries to keep it alive. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 lifts her shot over. It's a chance for Norway. Again, an excellent delivery. Puts Switzerland under pressure. And it's just a miscommunication. Marnham does what she has to do, trying to get the ball out for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 to have a shot. Some of the earlier chances. Thalmann. Brilliant goalkeeping. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 at the moment being the hero for Switzerland. It's not often that this happens to Norway, that they're held to a goalless draw, only once before. of their games in the World Cup ended a goalless third-place playoff against Brazil back in 1999. Whilst that was happening, a change. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 has made way for 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Bielda. There's Bielda. And across through the Mornum. And now 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Hovey fired it over. Probably the one bad pass or cross that Hovey's made in this game. Effective on that left-hand side. Just haven't made the most of the crosses. He's equalled the Norwegian record of appearing at 4 World Cups, Emilia Hovey. As has Mara Bielda. It was a record that was set by the current coach, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, in 2003. Well, certainly one manager that's been more lively on the touchline than the other. I don't think 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 sat down all game. Brighton. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 standing well to try and keep that out. And does so in the end. Plenty still out to support despite the rainy weather. Moritz. Ibergun. He's had quite a job to do to try and stop Emilia Hovey down that left side for Norway. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's going, this is 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Chance for life for Switzerland, and it's fired across the base of goal by Moran.
Mouths. Norway fans. Switzerland get themselves in behind. I'm sure it might have been offside. Ball-in was particularly the highest standard. Again, they're getting bodies in the box, Switzerland.
Victor across to Bielda. This is 𝓣𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Graham Hansen.
Working really hard out of possession. Switzerland. Bodies behind the ball.
Marner. Looking to release it to Graham Hansen, but just couldn't quite get the control. Now 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Has support arriving with Kubo. 𝓳𝓸𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 keeps going. Tries to take it past, but in the end it was well defended by Norway and Mathilde Harviken.
Norway have defended well, even when stretched. If one misses, and the other one will cover. They've had to do that at times, last ditch.
to get past 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. There'll be a free kick in the way of Norway.
So stuck to the task really well. 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, difficult opponent. Norway never stops, just trying to wriggle away through. Big chance here for Norway. Set piece. Got good delivery of the ball in this team.
Well, I'm sure 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓼 will be desperate to try and get herself on the pitch. It'll be one of those moments, isn't it? Especially when you are such a prolific goal scorer, when you're watching and you know you can't be involved. This pressure moment for Norway as they look to try and break the deadlock, to try and get 3 very valuable points. Caroline Graham Hansen is ready. Graham Hansen. Away by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, straight back out to Graham Hansen again, but it just fell to the feet of 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓼. Mjelde gets taken down on the edge of the D there. And another free kick goes the way of Norway, and perhaps in an even more dangerous position.
Switzerland are arguing the point that maybe that wasn't enough to be a foul, but going back to Graham Hansen's free kick. Yeah, she was tripped, wasn't she? Mjelde. Look at this, absolutely driven. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓰 did really well. Just before that, I'd just been asking her for it to be a little bit flatter and not sailed in, and certainly did that.
The 2 Barcelona teammates, Caroline Graham Hansen and Maria 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓰, will have practiced those free kicks with Caroline Graham Hansen. A different story though when you're on the opposite team having to defend against it. Focus on the face of Caroline Graham Hansen. It is Graham Hansen again, and this time loops over, and not the best effort. One that she'll be disappointed with.
Yeah, it's a combination of power. More power means that the ball will not dip back down. Well, did its job, but just needed a little bit less on it. A big moment as well, that.
Driving through, and cue ball tried to get on the end of it. It was blocked by 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓰.
So terrific defended again. That's really clever play down the left-hand side from Bachmann, but that's a couple of times now she's made interceptions, challenges, stopped a shot on goal.
Almost missed there. Could have been dangerous here. We were right and tried to find the feet to get the chance alive. These are those final last pressure moments, aren't they, Lucy, where it will start being end-to-end.
Decision-making then as well. The ball back into the box needed to be better. In fact, there was a chance for a shot on goal, really.
Two changes as 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓰 and Thea Bjelde make way for Ingrid Engen and Marit Bradberg-Lund. Miriam Tachun is the one to replace Serena Kubel. Here is Tachun. The Deflected by Bachmann. Now 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 couldn't get there. Mjelde. Monham finds Graham Hansen. Monham again. Open to get past the feet of Moran. Certainly Norway who are pushing closest to a goal. Bachmann. Moran looking to keep hold of it. Picked up here by 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Referee says play on. Aybagun. Tashun. Aliavelti. Turning, finding the feet of 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Switzerland trying desperately to come forward. Recent. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 weren't quite on the same page as Miriam Tashun as we go into 4 minutes of added time. Which actually, all things considered, is not that much. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰.
Bursts of quality this game, but few and far between really. Players of these standards, but high stakes game. It's been tense at times. Norway will think that they should have done better in terms of they don't get the winning goal. Switzerland, the momentum back a little bit in the second half, but still quite happy defending.
Well, Norway currently suffering their worst run without a win since 2017, when they went on a run of 5 games, 4 defeats. It's 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Still win it back and keep an opportunity alive. Tries to get past her Barcelona teammate. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 with the ball into the area. Held on tightly though by Mikkelsen.
How cool was that? Header back. Good play. She just kept going. Sorry, Pete. Yeah, Mjelde just showed all her experience. I'm not sure she knew which way that header was going to go. Eyes closed, but just defended really well in that back four.
Well, Ramona Bachmann, who has worked tirelessly for Switzerland, is replaced in the final few minutes by Marion Ray, who makes her first appearance at this World Cup. Here is 𝓳𝓱𝓪. Looking to fire it across. Ray was in there. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Flag was up anyway. Time running out for Norway, who so desperately wanted to put things right after that opening day defeat against New Zealand. Well, Caroline Graham-Hansen now will try everything to create one last opportunity for Norway. It's a decent delivery, but it bounces into the hands of Talman, and surely that'll be it.
Talman has done her job today. There's some key saves. Just want the goalkeeper to stand up and be strong, and she's certainly done that.
Still no luck for Norway, who knew they needed a change of fortunes to try and get back in. Their World Cup journey hangs in the balance. They got their first point on the board, though. Switzerland, though, will be happy with the draw. They lead the way in Group A as it stands, but it will be all going down to that final group match. Chances at both ends. Norway perhaps with the better of them, but they couldn't take it. The full-time score, Switzerland 0, Norway 0.